In 2 years' time, NASA will be decommissioning the space shuttle.
Copy.
This means big money and lucrative contracts for anyone who can provide an alternative. And the rewards for those who do will be huge. 100 miles north of Los Angeles, slap bang in the middle of the Mojave Desert, is the world's first fully licensed spaceport. 12 companies have set up base here in 3,300 acres of hostile desert terrain with one objective: to get into space as quickly as possible. But it's not cheap.
Every day lost in this industry is money and opportunity lost.
There are big risks.
When I go to press that fire button, I'm like,
yeah, I get a little bit nervous about that.
It's really not any room for fuck-ups.
And things don't always go to plan.
Oh, that's not good.
Yes, I am pissed off.
With lucrative contracts and millions at stake, everyone wants a piece of the action. A new space race has begun.
Oh my God.
Ambitious astropreneurs have flocked to Mojave to lay down their reputations and millions of dollars with one goal in mind: to turn space into a business.
The best way to make a small fortune in this business is to start off with a large one.
Y plus.
Dave Maston was worth $150 million. He's now ploughed nearly all of this into his space program.
Time to take off after my childhood ambition of doing rockets.
But despite his millions, this isn't NASA. Dave's team is a bootstrap firm with just 3 employees. Ian is a chief technician.
All right, what are we doing about the bottles? Are we changing bottles? Did anybody bring gas?
Pierce, guidance and control engineer.
Nothing truly expensive is fucked up.
John, senior designer. Dave is the pilot.
We're going to see this thing fly today. I've been waiting for this since I was all about Utah.
Ultimately, Maston planned to make huge amounts of money by launching commercial satellites. But today, they're setting their sights a little bit lower.
This test is all about taking off and doing a nice controlled hover. Then we can celebrate. And it'll be one heck of a celebration, I'm sure.
Close, lock, screw valve.
2 years' work, millions of dollars invested, tensions run high.
Yeah, we don't do countdowns, but this is about it.
The test hasn't gone according to plan.
Very frustrating. Very frustrating. Yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day, that's for sure.
Nothing terrible happened. It just didn't go quite like it should. There's an old saying that any rocket test that you can walk away from is a good rocket test.
The team go back to the workshop to iron out the glitch before the next test. But Maston are just one of the companies at the spaceport. Arch rivals Interorbital completed their testing years ago.
Well, people think we're different, and you know what? We are.
Led from the front by Randa Milleron, they've already started building their rocket for launch in 2009.
How do I think our rivals perceive us? Like I care.
Randa and her team are building orbital rockets.
We think ours is the best. It is the maximum one can do.
Maston's rockets are suborbital.
I mean, you have to crawl before you can walk, and in this case, it's more of a situation where you have to crawl before you can fly.
Orbital rockets leave the Earth's atmosphere completely, while suborbital creep to the edge of space. But no matter what type of rockets you're building, there are huge risks. Even the boys at Maston have had a few close calls.
One of the most spectacular failures that we've had, and one of the most disappointing, was we did our first 4-engine test, all the engines together.
there was a little bit of propellant in the chamber before the igniter went.
500 milliseconds, half a second into the test, one of the engines just blew up.
It punted one of our chambers. You know, this thing weighs like 10 pounds. It punted it 250 meters downrange.
Huge fireball.
It was about as close as I've ever come, you know, in this business to requiring a change of underwear after a test.
a few months ago, Mojave was given a harsh reminder of those dangers.
In an explosion at the Mojave Air and Spaceport, at least 2 people are dead.
One of them was a close friend of Randa Milleron.
This type of work, it's extremely dangerous. You never know what will happen, no matter how many precautions you take. I don't say that lightly. People die doing this.
Rockets are as dangerous as anything else that goes fast and is really cool.
Space is expensive. No bucks, no Buck Rogers. The rocket companies are competing for a number of prizes and challenges, such as the X Prize, where the winners can receive up to $20 million. But there are other ways to make money. Interorbital have already funded their development by selling tickets for future space flights, and their new money-making scheme is a space fashion show.
What people will wear on a moon base, that is actually a serious question at this point.
The following afternoon, Maston are back at their test site.
It appears that we have a software problem. Because of that, we're just going to go ahead and try it anyway and see what happens.
Liquid oxygen is pumped into their craft at near absolute zero.
We'll make most materials burn.
If something goes wrong during the test, the notoriously unstable fuel could blow the craft and the team to pieces.
We identified the problem from yesterday, so we're hoping that it's not going to interrupt this test that we're about to do here. Because every day lost in this industry is money and opportunity lost, and we really just need to keep moving.
With yesterday's failed test fresh in their minds, the team cannot afford another failure.
All right, let's get this shit going. Start data capture. Priming engines and starting engines.
With all the time and money invested, Dave looks on anxiously.
I'd say this is probably a good time to get to the backside of the trailer.
With extremely volatile gases leaking, the team make a retreat to the safe zone. No one can quite believe it. All they can do is wait for the fuel to burn out.
I'm in shock, that's what it is.
Fuck. I don't know what else there is to say other than that.
The danger has subsided. The crew reluctantly assess the craft. The damage looks beyond repair.
Welcome to Rocket Science 101. Nothing's easy.
Not a really good place for fragile egos.
It turns out that software problems were to blame.
It's really kind of frustrating for us at this point because all our stuff worked exactly like it's supposed to.
Am I pissed? Yes, I am pissed off. I mean, this is a lot of work in it, and it's totally screwed up. I don't know.
Thankfully, no one was hurt, but once again it's back to the drawing board for the boys at Maston.